Hello, good day everyone. So my name is Johnathan Wickham, and today I just want to demonstrate to you guys some simple DOS commands that you can use, some essential commands that can help you when using the command prompt in Windows. So to start off, we want to go with this here right here, CD and then a backslash. So what this carries is the root, right? So it goes to the root of your C drive. Now what you can do is use dir, that stands for direction, right? So that sends you um, C direction and tells you all the different things you can find in that C drive, right? Now, what you can also do is instead of doing that, you can also put this right here, right? An E switch. And what that does is gives you any file of any attribute, right? So that's all that you can find here. Now, we're going to move on. We're going to change to the Windows directory, for instance. Go in there, do the same thing. See all that stuff there. And we can also now try using what we call a P switch, right? It stands for page. Now, what would happen here is that it will just give us a full page, and then when we press another key, it will give us another page, and it keeps going until you press, and then it's finished. So yeah, so it shortens and it stops when one page is complete, and then when you press a key, our next page is done basically. And you can use Ctrl C to cancel this if you want. If you use this here, it moves us one space up, one direction up. So this will carry us back to the root. Right now, let's say we want to go to users, do that. Then let's see directory for users. Then let's say I want to go to my profile, for instance. So I would make sure I spell it out correctly. Then I would check the directory in myself. And then let's say now I want to see, well, I want to change the directory to desktop. I want to go even more further. I'm going to dive even deeper. Now we're in desktop. Now what we can do here is make a directory in desktop, right? So let's say I want to make a directory called test, for instance, right? So mkdir short for make directory. So it's made, right? Let's say we want to do something with this, right? Let's say we want to move a file, for instance, to this directory, right? So as you can see, we have this text file. So let's say we want to move this text file, right, to this directory. So you see it notifies you one file move, right? Now, if we want to see this, let's do that. And as you can see, it's there. It's there, right? So it is a file, one file. It's there. Okay. Now, what we could do now, even more, something even better. We can copy. This text file to a different location. So let's say we want to send it to downloads, right? We would specify the path, the exact path. Make sure we spell everything correctly. Right, just say yes. Yeah. Okay. And then it's copied, it's sent, right? So yeah. Now what we have is another command called help. So we could use help, for instance, and use it for directory dir. And this now will tell us all the different things we could use together with the dir command, different switches basically, like what I was using earlier, right? There's a lot of different stuff you can use with it, right? As you can see here, it's like all different stuff. So yeah, that's how you could if you get assistance. Now we want to just, let's say we want to clean up this now, right? You could just simply use CLS, right? And now let's say we want to do a checkup on our battery, right? What we could do is this here, ipconfig / question mark, and this will tell us different things we can do now, right? So yes, it enables the user to control power settings on a local system, right? So it lets us adjust our power system. So now, what we want to do now, okay, is do something very specific. Okay, so we could simply use the up arrow to put the same thing, and instead of the question mark, we can use a switch, right? And this just tells us the different sleep states that are available on the system, like hibernate, standby, fast startup, right? Now, what I would want to do is to check when my system was when it was last awoken, by what means. So, in what way it was awoken. So, what I would do now, okay, is say this here. So, this very special command, so power config last week. So, you see, you can see here the count is 1. The type is a fixed feature, and it was by using the power button. Okay, so that's how you can check that. That's very, very, very useful. Okay, so let's say we want to try something different. Let's say we want to see how a battery is using energy, the efficiency. What we can do now is power config / energy, right? Now this will take a little while, so I will be back shortly. Alright, so now it's finished, and so obviously in my case it shows some errors, warnings, and it gave us our energy report, and it put it in our test directory that we made, right? And so this is it here, right? It gives us in this form here. I mean, I don't want to bore you guys, but this is basically all the stuff you can read upon. It's very detailed, as you can clearly see, right? So yeah, we can move on from this and we could try something else. So what we could try now is this command here to give us a battery report, right? A specific battery report. Well, just we would have to probably go all the way back to this because we're in the wrong directory. My bad, it is actually in the correct directory, but yeah. So it says that it sent our battery life report, and it sent us to the same test directory, right? So we can check here, and we got our battery report, and yeah, that's nerd stuff, but it's really good. You know, it's really, really good. And it tells us a lot of stuff. That's amazing, right? I mean, that's simply amazing. Okay, so so yeah, that's it for that aspect. Now there is a few things again I want to show the battery, but I won't be able to actually do some of them. But this one is to turn on or off the hibernation, right? So say power config H off, H for hibernate obviously, right? And this will turn off hibernating mode, and then simply put it back on, which is the same thing, right? And we'll just be back on. Obviously it's getting really crowded, so you would want to use your CLS to clear off your screen. So this command I for sure wouldn't be able to show, right? So so this would be to just do a shutdown, S for shutdown, so the switch S. Now obviously I'm able to press enter, but that's how you would do that. And then you can also do a restart. Then you can do this. So this is a sort of a combination, or you can actually. And what this will do is actually boot you into the safe mode to get the like advanced startup, right? Now that's it for basically like battery system. Now we would want to look into, like, let's say you want to check up on your disk, right? The drive. So you would do this here, check disk, and obviously we want to see what different commands it has, right? So you can get some assistance. So what we would want to go for is this right here. Right? So as you can see, it locates bad sectors and recovers readable information, right? And it implies F when this guy is not specified. Right, so let's do this. So in my case, because Windows itself is running, I won't be able to do the repair, right? So in my case, I would have to use yes and do it while it restarts. But in my case, I would say no. But it would be different for you guys depending on how you scan the drives, right? Okay, so that's how you do that command. Now, what they were saying earlier is that there's basically another command, and this is the F switch. Now, this basically just checks the file system itself, right? Now, the R switch uses this. So, if you're going to use the R here, it's basically used anyway. So it would make sense. But yeah, that's it for that command. Now we want to just clear all this for sure, and we want to do something different. Okay, we have something very useful. One of my personal favorites, system info. So this would tell us all our good stuff, right, about our system, a lot of details, right, your specs, everything that you love. But let's just clear this and do something else. Okay, let's kind of go. I want to show you guys some of some networking stuff we can get into. So one of the most simple commands that you should know is ipconfig, short for IP configuration, right? And as you can see, it shows a lot of the adapters, the wireless LANs and the Ethernets, right, that your system has, right? Tells you the IP address, stuff like that. You can also add something to this. As you can tell, I use the up arrow, right, to make this much faster. And this gives you even more details. Okay, it goes in way further and tells you the DNS servers that you're connected to. Okay, tells you the MAC address, everything of your device. Now, what you can also do is use this command, ipconfig release. Okay, now this will boot me off the Wi-Fi. Okay, and then you would just use the same thing, but instead you would use renew, and this just basically gives you it removes it and gives you a new, and then gets you back up. Okay, unless if for instance you wanna see the DNF servers that you're connected to. If we use our ipconfig and then we use display DNS, what it should do is display all of the sites we've been to and the assigned DNS, right? So this is what it would give us, right? So all of the IP addresses and the sites associated with them, okay, that we've been to. That's basically what it looks like. Now, what we could do is something called a flush, right? Just forgot my up arrow. And that flushes the DNS resolver cache. Okay, so when we can do now is netstat. Now this shows all the ports that are open, right? So it shows all the port information on the different IP addresses connected to these, right? So this is something very useful again to keep in mind that you can use. Now another command you can also use is ping. Now let's say we want to ping, for instance, Google, for instance. So this is the domain, the DNS server for Google. Right. So it's default by 4 times the ping. right? So it pings Google 4 times. So let's say we want to ping Google a specific number, right? So let's say we want to go 8 times, well, maybe 10, right? Maybe 10, right? Right. So we will specify DNS server, and then it should go 10 times. Okay. Now, if we want to just go indefinitely, right? We can use this here, and this will just keep going until we use our Control C. So that's what it tells us. So it is the number of jumps, and yeah. So what we can do now is use something even more detailed. All right, and this is called trace route. So we'll specify the same DNS server that we used before. So this time it actually gives us the milliseconds that it takes to get there. All right, so it's basically the exact same thing. It's the exact same thing, right? It's 6 jumps, but it actually tells you how long it takes between each jump. Right, so this gives you milliseconds that it takes you to the different servers that it goes through to basically the same information, right? So yeah, so that's really cool. That's really cool. So yeah, other than that, I think I covered the majority of like the basic commands that like really help you in MS-DOS. So yes, this was my demonstration using it. This was Johnathan Wickham. Thank you for watching.